One of the main things is we hear hunters say, that the lid holds water. That's correct. The lid is concaved in quite a bit. The reason why we did that is for bears. We've had several bear in Arkansas actually tear our unit off the tree. We only used one strap at the beginning, and they would tear it off the tree, roll it down the mountain. We'd end up finding it, bringing it back up. Well, what we found was the deeper the concave in the lid, the stronger the barrel was. If we had a lid that was flat, that the water would run off, then the bear, once he got it off the tree, it's easier for him, once he jumped on top of it, to bend this in. And once this is bent in, then the feeder's pretty much just about destroyed. It's going to take a hunter or individual who bought the feeder quite a bit of time. But if only this part bends, you just take a hammer, knock it back out, and your feeder's still operational. So with that said, a lot of hunters have to remember our units are made of 18 gauge steel. We have one right now in Arkansas that's almost 4 years old. We leave all our units out in the woods. Do they rust? Yes, they're made of metal, not plastic. That's the, I guess you could say, the other side of the record there. It will rust, but it's more durable. How long will it take to rust through the lid? We don't know that. But I have a 22 gauge drum that's sitting in the back of my house that's about 10 years old. It's still waterproof. So with that said, yes, our lid's gonna rust. Yes, it's gonna hold water. But for the purposes we designed it, I think far exceeds the water issue. Another issue that we've had, a couple people call in and say, well, you say that your unit is varmint proof. Well, what we mean by that is damaging the feeder. Are the coons going to be able to get in there with their paws and get a little bit of the food? Well, of course they are. Their arms are able to reach in there, but that's why we made this opening so small. We also have to remember that the spinner and the opening of the corn sets a minimum of 11 inches to the back. So, can the coon reach in here if the unit is on the ground? Yes. Can he eat a little bit of the corn, get a little bit of the corn out? Yes. But what we recommend is this. If you have a bad coon problem, all right, you got a lot of them, we recommend that you hang it, all right? This enables them to just stand in front of it and reach in. It's virtually impossible for them to get to the food. Can they? You bet. I mean, they've got all the time in the world to try to get into this thing. But if you have the proper lock, door, this thing is lifted up. Even if they get on top of the unit, they can't slide down. Would they be able to stand on their hind legs? Possibly. And they're not going to be able to balance on this, reach in there, and get large amounts of food. So, again, if you have a bad coon problem, hang this thing on a tree or a post and watch them have a difficult time getting to your feed. Another thing I'd like to mention, and I know this sounds crazy, when we were hunting in Oklahoma these past 2 years, we would set these things on the ground and feed because the trees aren't that big out west. And as crazy as this sounds, we've had several of our feeders, while hunting them, the corn we noticed was getting lower and lower on some feeders, and we couldn't figure out what it was. Well, we actually set a camera up because we actually thought the coons were eating all the corn. And come to find out, it was mice. Thousands upon thousands of mice. And I know that sounds crazy, but if I wouldn't have witnessed it on the camera, I wouldn't have believed it myself. So with this unit on the ground, the little field mice, by the hundreds per night, were jumping inside the unit, crawling to the back, grabbing the corn and taking it out. So, if you feel your unit is losing corn quicker than you think, make sure it's not on the ground, because that's the one thing that will steal your corn quicker than anything is the mice. So that's why we recommend, you know, the second thing. Use your tree bracket. Pick it up off the ground. That enables the mice, even if they climb up the tree and they get on top, they're not going to be able to slide down and get in. Same thing with the coons. We've got tons of pictures with them standing on this, unable to get down here to get to the corn. So just something added, as crazy as it sounds, it's the truth. So just consider that the next time you're losing corn quickly and your feeder's on the ground. Another thing is, and we cannot stress this issue enough, is lock your door. We have hunters at least once a month call in and say, you know, the hog's got my door open, pull my timer out. You know, the coon tore it open, the bear. Make sure you put a good lock on the front of this. And once again, our unit is only as good as you secure it. You know, some places all you'll need is a pin lock. Like that. If you don't have bear, if you don't have hogs, you can even use these types. And screw. And third but not least, you can always go to a lock. Unlock it. But it is all welded, 4 points, 3 and 6. So another issue, before I forget, is that we've had bear actually bend the door. Even if they bend it, it's going to be in this corner right here, which shows that still, even if they bend the door, they're not going to be able to get their paw in there. So again, we cannot stress this enough. Lock your door, do not put a stick, and that way you can secure your internal parts. All right, the next issue is properly securing this for the game you're going to be hunting or the predators that are going to be in your area. We've covered the mice, as small as that is. Now we're going to do just the opposite end of the spectrum. We're going to go to the biggest, the bear. Now, in different regions around the United States, there's different size bear. So these are the things that we recommend. Again, our unit is only as good as you secure it. For one, here's your first strap. It goes inside your bracket, which we've covered several times. Always place a pin in there. This keeps the bear from lifting it off through the bracket. All right. Now, once you have this secure, we recommend for bear to have a second strap. Okay. This second strap goes underneath the leg right here and secures the bottom. This keeps the bear from twisting on it. And last but not least, you know the size of the bear in your area. If you need a third, put you a third strap on there. Once you secure these 3 points, you're done. But even at this level, the good thing about this feeder is you're still able to stand flat-footed and fill it up. And last but not least, the front latch. We have gone over that before. Make sure you put you a wire. Twist it on there. And you're complete. That way it keeps the bear from clawing at the latch and lifting this up and then popping your lid open. So here, your 3 straps and the lock on your door, and you're good to go for bear. Another issue one of the hunters had was, where do I put my timer? There's no compartment to place the timer. Well, the reason why we didn't put a compartment inside the unit was our unit fits multiple batteries. Not only does it fit multiple batteries, it fits different size batteries. So if you wanted to use an extremely large battery and it goes in, well then your timer would either have to go far to the left or far to the right. But if you wanted to use a smaller battery or multiple batteries, it could go to the front, it could go all the way to the back, you could line them. So what we thought was this: the hunter, once he placed his batteries, could choose where he wanted to put the timer. We recommend placing it right above the battery, putting it on top. That way, even if a little water does get in your unit, it's still secure and you're still able to close your lid. Same thing with a bigger battery. A lawnmower battery, same thing. Put it on top, shove it to the side, and you still have room to put all the other batteries. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't put a secure compartment inside the bigger compartment, because once again, it limits the hunter on what he wants to do with his feeder. We want to end on this. We're not claiming to have the perfect feeder. We know our feeder has flaws, but we're a company that is trying to improve year by year. We just want a feeder that's better and above the rest. Allows the hunter to hunt under any conditions, on any terrain, with any type of predator. We recommend that you call us, give us your complaints, give us your praises. That's the only way we're going to be able to improve this product, is by you, the hunters, calling in and letting us know on some of the things you love about it and some of the things you hate about it. But what I can't stress enough is this unit is only as good as you secure it. Remember your locks, remember your brackets, and hopefully we see you in the woods.